guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about catfishing, the Instagram filters, dating profiles, Tinder. I'm noticing more and more coming out about women that are using fake up and photo filters, but they're not just using it on Instagram as they have in the past. They're now using it on dating profiles. They're using it on their regular social media like Twitter and Facebook. And then when either guys are meeting them in real life, they don't look anything like they should. And they're getting validation based off their fake selves rather than their real selves, to the point where they don't even want to be seen in the real world or without makeup because they feel like they've got to have this perfect view of themselves. Something else that I'm noticing that's happening, which is really quite interesting, is that channels like mine focus kind of on men's issues and dating issues and relationship issues, but it's becoming such a big problem that it's actually bleeding out to other channels that usually do politics or social media. And I think this is because culture as a whole is kind of becoming rather problematic. It's getting very watered down to where you can't believe what's said. You can't believe your eyes anymore. You can't believe what people tell you on dating apps or on social media. You can't even believe the news anymore. And I think it's going to become more and more prevalent as we keep going. So we'll jump right into it. If you notice from my thumbnail, you've got two different gals or two different photos here with the filters on and filters off. And this should have been banned. And the truth is these photo filters are giving women validation based off fake looks. And so they're getting all this praise and attention on what they don't really look like. So when they get on these dating apps and they get all these thirsty men giving them attention, they think, wow, I'm beautiful, or they think I'm beautiful, or I'm getting all this attention. I must be gorgeous, and I should get a high quality man, and I should get the best of all things. Except in real life, they don't actually look like that. And then when the guy shows up to a date or to actually meet up with these women, most of the time, obviously, they're going to be like, this isn't the same girl I matched with. But number two, what they don't realize is a lot of times guys are like, I'm here. We'll have a couple of drinks. I'll take her back to my place anyway. And I bring this photo up. Let me zoom it out here because you can see these two gals. The one on one side here, I mean, they both look like models. You could say like an Angelina Jolie thing going on. And I don't know who this could be, Ariana Grande or something like that. I'm not sure how she pronounces her name. But you could be like, hey, hot Italian, hot Latina, or whatever. But then when you go to what they really look like here, you've got a girl that's, I mean, she's overweight. And let's be frank, and this girl's got a little bit larger nose. But let's be frank, this doesn't mean that guys wouldn't want to date them. It doesn't mean that a guy wouldn't see, depending on your preferences, a guy wouldn't see these women out at a coffee bar or a club or bar or whatever and wouldn't talk to them. It just means, okay, they're average girls. They're like normal women that you'd probably interact with 1,000 times in a day. But when these are the photos that are being posted on social media and being posted on dating apps, and these are the photos that the men are reacting on, is it any wonder that the stories come out about, oh, I was on Tinder and these guys called me fat, or they called me ugly, or they called me all these names? Well, when you're representing yourself like this, and then the guy actually meets up with you and you look like this, the guy's had false expectations. It'd be like a guy advertising that he's got a Lamborghini and $1 million mansion, and he shows up and he's riding, I don't know, a 1989 Honda Civic, and he lives in his parents' basement. It's kind of the same thing. The guy that drives up in a Honda Civic and lives in his parents' basement may be an awesome guy, but he falsely put himself forward as somebody he's not. Well, this comes about because Instagram has put a pause on its filter ban in Texas. And it's not based on Texas being against the filter. It's against the fact that Facebook and by virtue Instagram, since Instagram is owned by Facebook, they're misusing facial recognition technology. So many times people talk about, oh, well, the big state wants to, or big government wants to put a microchip in your arm, and they want a facial recognition so they can track wherever you go. I got news for you, gang. It's right here. There's a chip in your phone that will do that automatically. Let me silence my phone because I always forget. It'll do it automatically because Google, even if you turn off location services, even Google's gotten in trouble for still tracking where you are. Many of the apps on the phone, even if they're not in use, will track your money usage, where you go, what you do. And then on top of that, you've got TikTok and now Instagram and Facebook using facial recognition features, and they're misusing it. They're storing the data, and they'll use it against you. So that's what Texas is complaining about. But if you do a search for Instagram filter ban Texas, you know what comes up? A bunch of women complaining about how they can circumvent the filter because they don't want to post any photos of themselves in real life. And I've got a page of photos I'm going to show as an example, and they're not extreme. They're not like taking a garden gnome and making them look like a supermodel, but it's enough to let you know, hey, you got to be careful out there because the person you meet, you know, if she looks like an 8, she may be closer to a 6. If she looks like a 6, she may be closer to a 5 or a 4. They say the ban on AR filters for Texans come after Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit accusing the platform of misusing facial recognition technology. And again, that's kind of the main story. They say if you hopped on Instagram yesterday and really you're not going to resize your text, this is from a regular, you think they'd know how to scale, but apparently they don't. If you hopped on Instagram yesterday, you couldn't find your favorite filter. You may have thought it was a glitch, but it was not an error. In fact, those living in Texas, those living in Texans can't access them at all. Okay, if you live inside a Texan, you may want to exit the womb. On Wednesday, Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, turned off augmented reality filters on social media platforms. And again, it comes from them misusing the filters. Well, there was in general.
Abbott making several announcements today in the aftermath of the school shooting.
Sorry.
First, he's requesting a special legislative committee to convene and review.
Stand by. Sorry about that. Stupid ass websites. And here on Board Panda, they have 30 Instagram versus reality pics of women exposing themselves to show how fake social media is. This has been out for a while. This is not exactly all new. This has been out for years. But it's getting to the point now where women are complaining about the Texas law because they don't want to post photos of their real selves anymore. They want to see themselves as an idealized, perfect woman. And again, like not all of these are super, like we know that there's filters that will put on like makeup in a very perfect way. I'm actually fine with this one. I mean, because women can do this with makeup naturally. Same thing with this one. They brighten up the face and all that kind of stuff. And here, but it's smoothing out the acne. It's perfect lighting. It's getting wrinkles away from underneath the eyes, dark circles underneath the eyes, giving a perfect lip shape. And this is actually from a woman. I looked into this one a little bit more. This is from a woman who used to do Instagram modeling, and then she started doing a before and after of herself in reality without any filters of what it's like being an influencer and what they do. For example, is on this photo, she's got these spandex pants that she pulls up over her belly button. You can see there's only a few inches here. And she stands in a pose that'll and flexes her butt, so it gives her a nice ass and flat abs. When in reality, when she pulls those down so it stops squeezing in her midsection, and she kind of stands in a natural pose, her belly sticks out and her butt looks a little bit flatter. Which is, I mean, all of us guys know. Now, granted, she's probably should hit the gym a little bit. She's not in the best shape here, but we can certainly say this is probably a lot more like reality. And so the whole reason I want to talk about this is because it goes deeper than you guys being faked out about Instagram and fake profiles. It goes deeper than that. What it goes to is the point that these women have expectations of themselves that are so unrealistic, they do not want to be seen or viewed without the filters anymore, which means when they go out in public, they're never going to go out all natural. They're going to want to have to put up pounds of makeup and do themselves out and go through outfit after outfit after outfit to find the perfect ensemble to make them look pretty. But more importantly, it's going to reflect on you as well. Why? Because if they see themselves in this perfect light, or they have to see themselves in perfect light, do you think they're going to accept a man that is anything less than perfect? And I know there's men online that probably do the same, but it's pretty hard to Photoshop a six-pack on yourself and make it look realistic. Although I guess you could puff out your muscles and shoulders a little bit. But the truth is these women are getting unrealistic expectations for men and the men they want to date and the men they want to be with based on their own unrealistic expectations of themselves, ones that they can't even reach. This gal looks like she's from the Middle East. And the only reason I say that she reminds me a little bit of the Middle East is because of her facial structure and her hairline. I know women that are Middle Eastern. Many of them have the little dark little hairs on their upper lip. They have kind of the sideburns that come down a little bit, and their neckline for their hair can be quite exaggerated, which is what you see coming down underneath her ear here. She actually has a little bit of hair. Now, most women, again, go like that. They go out and wax it, and they remove it, and they go out. But after you date a gal for a while, after you're married, do you think she's going to keep her upkeep like this? Or if you have a kid or two and she decides to be a stay-at-home mom, are you going to come home and is she going to have hair that is longer than mine underneath her ear and coming down her sideburns? And again, I'm not saying that this is necessarily a bad thing. A lot of you guys are going to be like, yeah, I don't really care for that. That's kind of gross. But it's the point that, hey, this may be the woman you're coming back to. And if I do a DuckDuckGo search, because I don't use Google, and I just say Texas ban, I don't see it right here, but anyway, at least when I did this search a day ago, they were talking about a lot of posts on like Quora and on Reddit and other places of how do I get this facial feature? How can I circumvent this ban? It's so bad that now women do not even want to use Instagram or post photos or upload anything, like I said before, without that. So guys, keep this in mind that number one, yeah, you're not only getting tricked on Instagram, but you're also now getting tricked on Twitter. You're getting tricked on dating apps. You're getting tricked all over the place. And even if you see her in person and she does look pretty good, there can be a drastic difference with makeup on, makeup off. And anymore, I'd suggest before you get too serious with a woman, make sure you take her to the beach and see if she'll go swimming. See if she'll put her face in the water. See if she's active, like she'll go out to the gym or jogging or something like that without any makeup on. You don't want to be with somebody that is so self-critical or so into themselves that they refuse to be seen without makeup or without these filters. Because truth of the matter is, if they're that shallow and they're that vain, it's not somebody you want to be with at all, no matter how good they look at, because over time, it's just going to be a headache for you. Guys, don't forget, I'm having a promotion over on betterbachelor.locals.com. Become a member in the next 30 days, and you have a chance to win a lifetime free membership, supporter membership. It's free to become a member if you just want to hop over there. But I'm going to be doing more unique videos and live streams and things over there for supporters only. So make sure to go over and join me over there today.